Hey guys, how you doing? Nate back again. It's been a good week, a long week, grinded a lot, worked a lot of hours, got a lot of stuff accomplished that I was trying to get accomplished this week, so it was great. In this video, I want to kind of piggyback off of what we talked about already, which is self-awareness, but I want to dive a little bit deeper into it. I think above all else, self-awareness is probably one of the most important things that you can really get after and understand. If you read a book called Crucial Conversations, which I would recommend to anybody in any business, read and get smart on really quick. It can help you a lot in your career and also in your personal life. But it talks a lot about self-awareness. I like to focus, when talking about self-awareness, I like to focus on the things I'm good at and really grind those to death, and just be a differentiated talent on the things that I'm really good at already. And the things that I'm not good at, for instance, I'm not very good with, I guess, the technical side of business. When you think about those things, so if you think about like robot engineering or AI or different things like that, I'm not the best with that technical aspect of it. I'm self-aware enough to know when I have to pull in help though, right? So I know I'm not good at that. So if I'm ever leading a project or trying to get business results in my function or area, and those things are in the air and I have to work on them, I know that I'm gonna have to pull in folks, and I know who the folks are, and that's what I am good at. I'm really good at driving business results through knowing what I'm not good at and knowing who to pull in and when to pull them in and how to pull them in. So I think being self-aware about some of your key talents or attributes is super important. I think making sure that you don't concern yourself with all of the things that you're not good at is important, right? Because you don't want to be average at everything, right? So if you continually work on, I'm talking about business, right? If you're a basketball player, I mean, you're gonna have to have a left hand, right? I mean, so if you're not good at your left hand and you're self-aware about that, then you're gonna have to get one as a basketball player. In business, I think that if you're not very good at the technical aspects of business like AI, I don't think you have to be good at AI, right? I think there's a lot of different avenues for you to be successful within your function and drive business results like that. Now, there are some fatal flaws that you need to be self-aware about to not have, right? You don't want basically everybody to hate you. So I'm talking about behavioral issues, right? If you have behavioral issues and every single person in the office just despises you and doesn't want to work with you because they hate you, I would say that's a fatal flaw that you need to be self-aware about and think about all the time. But I think broadly, the practice of mental inventory about yourself and building self-awareness is something that 99% of people don't have or do on a regular basis. So I think if you just even think about it like that, like, I need to take inventory about myself, what I want, what my goals are, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, what I'm truly trying to do, and just be real about it, I think you're already ahead of 99% of the people in industry and in the world for that matter. I mean, I hear guys time after time after time again saying, oh, I'm not making 100K, or I'm not making 200K, or I'm not making 300, whatever it is. And I'm just talking about my people, friends, family, different things like that. I say, well, you're not busting your ass hard enough. I mean, you get out what you put in, right? Well, those jobs just don't exist. I'm not educated. Then get educated. Find the job. Put 60, 80, 70, 90, 100 hours a week in. Like, what do you need to do? Like, it's there. It's just you're not doing it, and you're lying to yourself, and you're making up a story saying that it doesn't exist because you're not self-aware enough to say, hey, I'm not getting this because I'm not putting in this. Or you don't want to own up to the fact that you're not putting it in, so you're not getting it out. And I tell folks, it's not a bad thing. I tell my friends, it's not a bad thing to not make 100, 200, 300, not want to be a CEO, not want to be a vice president, not want to work in a big company. Those aren't bad things. Like, what are your goals? But don't sit there and watch Netflix and chill and try to be home, every single night at 5 p.m. for dinner, and then say you want to be the CEO of the company. Those things just don't align, right? So be honest with yourself and say, I want to be an amazing father. I want to have a lot of free time. I want to see the world with my family. And those are things that are very important to me right now. And that's okay, right? And own that, and then do that very well. I'm okay with that. It's dangerous when you ride on the fence and you're doing neither of them. So if you're home and you're not present, if you're home and you're not spending the time with your family, but also you're saying that you want to be the CEO of your company, and it's never going to happen because you're not putting in the work there. So you're continually riding this fence of perpetuation of nothingness, right? You're not getting to your goal of whatever that is. So I argue with people and say, what is your goal? What do you want to do? And then how do you get there? And just be real about it. If your goal is to be the CEO of the company and that's your goal, then you're going to have to swallow that hard pill of being home at 6 o'clock for dinner is just not going to happen. And traveling the world with your family right now isn't going to fly because you need to be at work, busting your ass, right? And it's just that, it's that, right? And if your goal is to be the greatest father on earth or to be the greatest mother on earth, then I think you might need to take a step back from work, but then swallow that same pill and say, I'm never going to be the CEO of this company, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And I think that balance and that self-awareness just makes for a happier you too, right? Because like I said, I see way too many people, and I'm talking about my friends, and not even just people at work. I'm just talking about my friends and family and colleagues and different people that I see out there. They say one thing and they do another, right? So you say you want to get promoted. You say you want to get that opportunity. You get pissed when you don't get the opportunity. You get pissed when you don't get promoted. You're pissed that you're not making 100, 200, 300K, whatever you think you should be making. But at the same time, you turn your work cell phone off the second you leave after 8 hours every single day and never work a weekend. So it doesn't click with me. That doesn't add up. So you got to be self-aware, and you got to be honest with yourself and say, my cell phone's off as soon as I walk out the door. I don't want that promotion. I want to be the best father in the world, right? Or I don't want that promotion. I want to learn how to cook. Or I don't want that promotion. I want to travel the world and, go to Spain or whatever, right? So I think self-awareness drives all of that. Self-awareness is just the first part of it, though. The second part is getting brutally honest. And self-awareness will punch you in the face. It'll almost make you be honest with yourself because you'll see it, and after you see it, it's tough not to understand it. And that's kind of what happened to me, I don't know, a couple months ago. Kind of like I said in my previous video, I brought up really poor, grinded, worked so many hours, went to school full time. I mean, I just worked. All I knew was grind, hustle. That's all I ever cared about. Always wanted to go high up in a company and in the Fortune 500 large cap world. And just a couple months ago, I kind of lost that hunger in my belly. And I was talking about that in one of my videos. And I kind of did an inventory, like I just talked about. What do I want in life? And what makes me happy, and what that looks like. And I said, well, I want to be, a vice president, executive vice president, CEO one day. Those are the things I want. And I look at those people and I say, well, did they work 40 hours a week? And did they, turn their cell phone off? Did they turn their cell phone off when they hit the door after an 8-hour day? Did they not work on the weekend on their laptop? Like, did they just do those things? And I thought to myself, hell no, those guys work 70, 80 hours a week. So if that's truly what I want, now I have to swallow that pill and go grind, right? And that's what I do, and that's what I want right now. So the other cool thing I want to talk about I guess when it goes along self-awareness, you continually do these mental models of self-awareness, and they continually change. I mean, they might change from one day to another. They might change from 1 week to another, 1 month to another. Nothing says just because you want to be the CEO today doesn't mean in 5 years when you're a mid or a senior manager saying, okay, I'm done, right? Okay, circumstances have changed in my life. I'm comfortable. My kids are here. Someone passed away, whatever it may be in your life. Nothing is saying that you have to be locked into those circumstances for the rest of your life. You continually are self-aware internally and externally about things that you're good at that will help you drive your success and behaviors in life, but you continually also model those externally to know, is that truly what you want to continue to do? Do you still want to work 80 hours a week when you're 40 years old and you're a senior manager or lower executive or a senior manager? And do you still want to work 80 hours a week to be the CEO one day? And if not, that's perfectly fine too, but you need to be honest with yourself and self-aware, and do mental models to understand what you're good at and what you want out of life, right? And I think if you want to be X, right, it just put in Y and you get the output a lot of times. Now there's luck, right? There's some of that, and there's timing and luck and different things like that. But I think all in all, if you completely miss the mark 100%, it's because you completely miss the mark 100% on yourself. You completely missed the mark 100% on what you were really trying to do, and there was like this discombobulation of what you're really doing and your goals and different things like that. I think no matter what you want, if you really understand it, know it, you have the capability to go after it much better once you understand it and know it, and are honest and self-aware enough to say, I want to be X and I'm going to put in Y to be X. And if anytime you do that, I think you're going to be much closer to the mark of what you're trying to accomplish. Now, if you want to be CEO and you put in, and that's X, and you put in Y, which is, a shit ton of hard work and 80 hours a week and a bunch of self-awareness, and you just do everything it takes to be X, then it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the CEO. But I'm just saying, I think you're going to come a hell of a lot closer to being the CEO than if you think about, I want to be CEO as X, and you don't even know what Y is, and your Y is, Netflix and chill on the weekend, shutting your cell phone down after 8 hours, and spending a bunch of time with your family, and trying to live up to this work-life balance that other people think work-life balance is. I think X is CEO. I think you're going to be a hell of a lot further away from that than if you have your actions align with your goals, no matter where your goals are, right? So I guess that's what I want to talk about with self-awareness today. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, I'm probably going to be posting a little bit more often this week. I got some more time to do that this week, so I'm going to go after it and try to get on here as much as I can. And like I said, it's just kind of a release for me, accountability partner, and keeps my wheels turning. Hopefully it keeps yours too. So, all right, see you later.